Okay, well, it's 12 o'clock on the dot, so we can start. Kurtita, I was just telling my mom that we're doing a class a lot for anyone that has nerve pain. So there's going to be lots of neck and back stuff, but also getting the nerve moving a lot too. So it'll be good for a lot of different areas. For a couple of us. I think that'll be good for all of us.
So sorry, last time I missed your class.
That's okay, no problem.
The recording, yeah.
So the stuff that you guys are going to need today is, here, I'll show you. I know you might not have anything about this shape, but if you have a ball about this size, that's awesome. If you don't, you can grab a big bath towel and you can.
But is it heavy? If it's a little bit heavy, it's okay?
No, it's really light.
Should be light?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. You just want about this size.
Okay, size is here.
Yeah, and like I said, if you don't have a ball, you can grab a big bath towel and we'll fold it up and make a little block out of it.
How about this one?
Yep, that'll probably work.
Okay.
So that's the one thing you need is something around this shape and size. And then I'm going to use the peanut, which is 2 lacrosse balls together. If you don't have this, you can use a single lacrosse ball and you're just going to hold it in your hands.
Okay, wait.
Right here. I know I'm getting a little more technical with you guys.
Can I use the pillow instead of a ball?
Yep. Yep, you'll probably just have to fold it in half.
Okay.
Yep. You're going to be sitting on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's all you need. We're going to be laying on our back with it kind of underneath our bum. So you just need something that can rest on your tailbone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have only one ball, but I have a pillow.
Yep, pillow works.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, awesome. Okay, so we're going to start in a different way than we normally do. We're going to start relaxing instead of making you guys warm up. Since we're working on nerve stuff, think of a nerve like a big long string, and it should glide back and forth throughout your body, wherever it is. So if it's tacked down on one end, you're going to be stretching it, and that's not very good. So we want to relax everything around it so that afterwards we can get it to slide nicely. So the very first thing that we're going to do is use the peanut. Kurtita, do you have one of these or just a lacrosse ball?
I have one. This one.
Okay, awesome. So we've done this quite a bit before. We're going to be laying on our back and we're going to be resting our head with it right where the skull meets the top of the neck. If you only have one, you're going to have it on one side for a little bit and then you're going to switch and have it on the other side for a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you.
So go ahead and lay on your back. Get yourself nice and comfy. And then whenever you're ready, you're just going to lift up your head and then relax onto the ball. I like to put my hands there because I find the ball tends to roll out of place. So I just put my hands around the outside of the ball so that I keep it in the right spot. One thing to keep in mind is that you never want to be doing this on the spine. So if you're using a single ball, it should be on one side and then halfway through you'll switch to the other side. We never want to be putting pressure directly on the spine. And it might be a little bit tender. That's okay, as long as it's not too much.
But that is on the neck, right?
Yep. Yeah, at the very top of the neck where it comes up towards the skull. So if it's too painful, try to back off and pressure a little bit. You can even kind of soften it by putting a pillow under your head so you're not on such a hard surface. So you don't ever want to feel like you're clenching your jaw, making a fist, holding your breath, anything like that. That's too painful. How's this feeling for you guys?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Is it a little sore?
Yeah, a little sore, yeah.
Mine is surprising.
I have one side tenderer than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll definitely notice that. And feel free to play around with the location too. You can go a little higher, you can go a little lower, focus on one side or the other. Again, learn to listen to your body and do what feels good, what feels right. Katina,
Other side.
yeah, I was just gonna say, you can go ahead and switch to the other side. So this one is really good for any kind of nerve pinch anywhere in the whole body. Of course, all the nerves come off of the spine. The spine originates from the skull and comes all the way downwards. So if it's tight here, it's going to be tight all the way down the rest of the spine, and then it's going to be tight all the way down from the nerves into either the arms or the legs. So this is a really big center point for a lot of tightness and pain. Okay, take a couple nice big deep breaths, let the body relax a little bit more, and then you can move the peanut out from underneath your head. And then the next thing that you're going to need is, I'm going to use the ball. I think you guys both have a pillow, so that's fine. What we want to do is make sure that we get it to the right width. The length doesn't really matter all that much, but the width does. You want it to be essentially the width of your tailbone, because you're going to be resting it right there. So a good way to think about that is, for me, it's about the size of like my outstretched hand. Depending on how big or small your hands are, that might be slightly off, but that's kind of a good rule of thumb. It's about the size of your outstretched hand. So that pillow, I think you guys are going to just need to fold it in half. Okay. I think if you're using a big bath towel, you're just going to fold it up so that it's, again, about that width. People can also use a yoga block from home if you happen to have that. It's a little bit harder and not quite as nice, but it does work, gets the job done. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay on your back with your knees bent. You're going to lift your bum up in the air, and you're going to scoot that pillow or ball or towel underneath your tailbone, and then you're going to relax and rest on it.
Hard to adjust.
Hard to shove that in there.
Because then we are floating.
Yeah, sometimes when the object is bigger, yeah, it's hard to get it in the right spot.
I think the material binds on clothing too.
Yeah. So yeah, feel free to wiggle around, get it in the right spot. This should feel really nice and relaxing, so don't expect to feel anything painful. What you should feel is just that gravity is taking your hip bones downwards, and the pillow or the ball is supporting your tailbone or your sacrum. So we're getting a little bit of kind of a decompression through the back of your hips, through your.
That's good. Yeah, now we feel good.
Good. Yeah, it should feel nice and relieving. Again, this is a really important center point for where all the nerves come off. Obviously, the nerves for the lower body come off the bottom of your spine, so we need to loosen up that center area at the bottom of the spine.
So Limji, should we have to put our knee up high on like this only?
You want your knees bent comfortably.
Oh, comfortably.
Yeah, comfortably. Both feet on the ground. And just try your best to really relax. Let go of any tension. Again, you want to allow gravity to push your hips downwards. I know that you guys don't have this, but if anyone watches the recording and has really bad nerve pain, remember with nerves, we always want to start really gently. Nerves are cranky pieces of the body. So we never want to be aggressive with them. So that's why we're starting these two things. They're really nice and relaxing, decompressing. Being aggressive with nerve pain is a good way to make yourself feel worse. We're going to take some nice big breaths, especially for your belly. It's really going to help. Breathing nice and low. And then whenever you feel ready, what you're going to do is lift your bum up off of that object and then scoot that object out, and then you can lower down onto the ground. Now, it's not uncommon to feel a little achy once you come off of the ball or the pillow. So. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, good. Good. Little bit pain on the hips.
Yeah. That tends to only last a minute or two after you first come off of it. It's just kind of like all of a sudden it was decompressed and now it's back to normal. So it rebels against the back to normal a little bit. Okay, so we're going to be laying on our back again. Now we're going to start to get the spine moving, which again will allow the nerves to move better. So we're going to do some chin tucks. So go ahead and lay down how you were, knees bent on your back. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your hand underneath your neck. And really gently, you're going to tuck your chin as if you're trying to flatten your neck against your hand.
You have to tuck, right?
Yeah, so a little chin tuck like you're flattening your neck out. Now, you will not be able to get your entire neck to touch the floor. That's not the goal. The goal is just to get it slightly more towards the floor, slightly more flattened out. And you're going to hold that chin tuck for a couple seconds, and then you're going to relax for a couple seconds. And nice and slowly, you're just going to go back and forth. And again, this one isn't super powerful. You're not going to feel anything really intense with this one, or at least you shouldn't. You're going to feel a bit of a mild stretch, probably in between your shoulder blades. And then you might feel in the front of your neck, just some muscles turning on and working, which is great. I'm going to finish up one or two more. And then we're gonna roll over so we're on our hands and our knees. Did that one feel okay for you guys?
Yep.
Okay, so we're on all fours. We're gonna do a classic, good old cat and cow exercise. So what you do is you're gonna tuck your chin, you're gonna curl through your spine, you get a nice curl. You get everything to bend as much as possible. And then you're gonna do the opposite. You're gonna extend, take your head back a little bit, get a nice arch through the back. And you're gonna go back and forth, nice and slow at a good comfortable pace for you. And if your brain can handle one more thing, you're then gonna sync it up with your breath. So as you're arching your back, you're gonna breathe in. And as you're tucking and curling under, you're gonna breathe out. If the breath is too much for you, that's okay. Feel free to just breathe normally. Again, feel free to take some creative freedom on this one and do what feels good. If anyone's watching me, you're probably noticing I'm sort of shaking my head side to side to get a really nice neck stretch in here. There's really no right or wrong way to do this. The only wrong way is if it's painful. Good. All right, finish up that last one that you're on. Good. You guys feeling relaxed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Relaxed and loosey-goosey? Okay, so the next two that we're going to do are a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to explain how to do them a couple of times for you guys so that it really makes sense. But there's a lot of different moving parts. The goal is to get the nerve, again, sliding. So we're going to do a couple for the arm and then we're going to do one for the leg. So it's important that you do it properly and that it should not be intense. So I'm going to show you sitting up so that you can see the direction that my arm is going, and then we'll run through it together laying down. But pretend that I'm laying down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my arm up at a diagonal, like a 45-degree. I'm going to bring my wrist and my hand back. And then I'm going to bring my arm, again, towards the floor if I'm laying on my back, and then back. So it's really important that my elbow is locked out and I'm not doing this, that everything's nice and straight, almost like I'm making sort of an L shape here, if that makes sense. And then I'm just going to go back until I feel a stretch and come out of the stretch. Into the stretch and out of the stretch. Does that make sense?
So, Olivia, is it okay? Can I use my this hand or not? I will try.
Yeah, so we're going to do it on both arms. We'll probably do about 5 on each arm. Again, it shouldn't be painful at all. So if it is, don't go as far back.
Okay.
I know that shoulder's bothering you a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run through it together. Again, you're going to be laying on your back. Legs can be however you want them, but I tend to gravitate towards legs bent because it's nicer on your low back. Start by pointing your arm up towards the ceiling. And then take your wrist and your fingertips back. So you should feel like you're holding a tray right now. And that tray would be pointing up towards the ceiling. Now keep your wrist in that position and your elbow locked out. And you're going to bring your arm overhead at about a 45-degree angle. And it doesn't have to be all the way to the ground, just until you start to feel a stretch. And then you're going to come back out of that into that tray position.
I think you have shown this one time before.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it?
probably feeling tight. So again, nice and slowly without pain. We're going to do about 5 of them. And when you're done, 5, you can relax that arm. How did that feel for you guys?
Okay.
Getting a good stretch through the front of the arm?
No, I had it down like from in my forearm.
Perfect, yeah. So because we're working on the nerve, it goes all the way down the arm. So you might kind of feel it in the bicep, or some people feel it in their forearm and their palm.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter where you feel it. It's still working on the nerve. So that's awesome that you felt a good stretch.
Okay.
Let's do the other arm. So same thing. The other arm goes up, pointed up to the ceiling. Take your wrist and your fingertips back like you're holding a tray. Now keep everything locked in that position and go up and overhead at about a 45-degree angle. And then back and up. And again, if anyone watching this has nerve pain, if it's really bad, you might choose to even skip this exercise because we are directly working on the nerve. But we're only doing 5 because if anyone has nerve pain, we don't want to do 20 and flare it up. It's going to be way too much. You gotta be gentle with nerves. Good. So when you're done your 5, you can relax. How did that feel on that arm? Tighter?
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Good?
That was my hand with the frozen finger, and I felt it right down into the palm.
Yeah, good.
Mm.
Good, we're listing stuff up. Okay, so I'm gonna sit up and show you guys the next one. Like I said, we're doing 2 for the upper body. Again, they're slightly more complicated, so I want you guys to see what I'm doing. This one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pretend like we're putting the palm of our hand up against our ear, like we're holding a phone upside down. So we're gonna really slowly go up this way and kind of bring our elbow out super wide and our palm towards our ear. And then, so you should feel a stretch, and then you're gonna come out of that a little bit and then back up towards your ear. So the trick is to keep that wrist really far back and to keep the elbow out. If you bring your elbow in, you won't feel it as much. So we'll run through it together on your backs. So go ahead and lay down. Choose which arm you're gonna do first.
A good one.
Yeah. Bring the wrist back, keep your elbow out, and start to bring the palm in towards your ear until you start to feel a bit of a stretch. And then come back out of it so the stretch disappears. You guys are feeling it?
Yes.
Good. And again, the goal is not necessarily to touch your head. The goal is just to move into a stretch and out of a stretch.
And the elbow should slide along the floor.
I've got mine a little above the floor, kind of hovering. And again, once you're done 5, go ahead and relax. So that one for sure, you should have felt a little more in the forearm and in the palm. Is that where you guys were getting at?
And shoulder.
And the shoulder, good. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other arm. So same thing, start to bring the wrist back, the elbow out wide, and bring the arm up, sort of towards your ear until you feel a stretch, and down out of the stretch, and go in and out about 5 times. Good. When you're done those 5, you can relax. Okay, you can stay right where we are. We're gonna do the lower body one now. It's slightly easier than the upper body one. So you're just gonna straighten out one leg. The other one can stay bent if you want it to. And first things first, you're gonna bring your toes to point up towards your nose. So keep your knee totally straight, but bring your ankle up towards you as much as you can. Same thing like we did with the arm, we're kind of locking in that L shape. And then you're gonna start to lift your straight leg all the way up until you start to feel a good stretch down the back of your leg. And then nice and controlled, you're gonna lower your leg until the stretch goes away. And same thing, you're gonna lift and Go in and out of the stretch about 5 times. After 5, you can relax. How was that one?
Okay.
So we should be feeling a stretch down the back of the leg, probably in the calf and the foot, maybe a little bit too. And as a byproduct, you're probably feeling your leg working, quad working.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the same on the other leg. That leg is straight, knee is locked out. First things first, bring the ankle up towards you, toes towards your nose sort of thing. Keep that L shape and lift until you start to feel a stretch. And then lower down out of the stretch. You can do this one using a strap to help yourself lift. But I find if I add too many things in, it gets sort of complicated. I'd rather you guys just learn the movement first. When you're done 5, go ahead and relax. All right. You guys feeling good?
Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna grab our lacrosse ball and or peanut one more time, and we're gonna use it now on our upper back. This is for those of you that have been in a vehicle for a week.
Yes.
Driving too much. This will really help. Oh yeah, we're gonna roll against the wall. So go ahead and stand up, get the lacrosse ball or the peanut. So if you're gonna use the peanut, again, you're gonna be on either side of the spine. Anywhere along there, make sure that it's not on the spine, we don't want that. Now go ahead and find a good spot on the wall. And sort of lean into it and roll. If you're using the lacrosse ball one, you just have to focus on one side and then switch halfway through to use the other side. What I like to do is I like to cross my arms. That just kind of separates your shoulder blades a little bit so you can get in there a bit better. And take the creative freedom. Feel free to roll wherever you feel like it's necessary. Higher might be more tight than lower. Listen your body. And if you find a good spot, feel free to just pause. Sometimes it surprises you where you find sore spots, doesn't it? You guys finding some good spots?
Yep.
Feel free to go as high as kind of like the bottom of the neck, where shoulders turn into neck. That area is really as high as you probably want to go. Oh, Okay, let's take a few nice deep breaths at whatever sweet spot we're on at the moment. And we'll finish up there. We have to go back to that one later. All right, we're going to be back down on our mat. And we've done this one quite a bit before. We're going to do that neck activation where we're on our side. As much as it isn't all that fun to do, I think it helps us out more than anything else. So you're on your side, knees can be bent in front of you, elbow is going to be underneath your shoulder. And then first things first, you're gonna kind of lift, straighten your body out. You can still have your hip lifting, but I don't want you all slouchy. I want your shoulder down and your spine straight. And then you're gonna turn and look up towards the ceiling. And then down towards the ground. You're gonna do that 3 times, nice and controlled. And then the last one, look straight, and then you can lower your body. Does that feel okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will try other side.
Yeah. Look to the other side. Again, get your elbow underneath your shoulder. Bring the shoulder down, straighten out your spine, and go ahead and do the turn. Look up to the ceiling, look down to the floor.
So we are not putting the, sorry.
Okay, your hip is still touching the ground. Follow up the neck movements for this one. And then the last one, after you look down to the floor, look straight, and then you can relax.
Yeah, I thought that we have to put our hips up, no, right?
I did too.
Leave your hips on the ground.
We did side planks with it.
Yeah, wow, you guys are making it more challenging. No, for that one, we want to rest the hips. We just want the spine to be straight, just so that we're not causing any like kinks in the spine or compensations in the spine. We just want to straighten.
There is too much pressure on the shoulder if we are putting our hips up.
Yeah, when you lift the hips up, it's definitely harder on the arm. So next time you do it, you can make it easier. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit more mobilization to get the spine moving. Again, nice, gentle, relaxing class for us today. We're going to be laying on our side. So knees in front of you. And what you can do, I like to put the bottom hand on kind of the outside of that thigh or the knees, just to help remind myself to keep my legs still. Your top hand is going to come behind your ear, and we are going to twist and look behind you. Just get a nice twisting stretch through the spine. And then you're going to come back to neutral. And you're just going to twist back and forth. Should feel really nice. Were you guys feeling this upper back, neck, low back?
Lower back.
Lower back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I'm feeling it a lot in my upper back. Some of the things I love about this exercise, you get so much bang for your buck.
Maybe for old people, it is lower back.
I sat in a car for 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah, your spine's pretty stiff.
So do we have to take a deep breathe in and breathe out while doing this or no?
Yep, you can definitely coordinate it with the breath. So what I like to do is this way, as you're opening and twisting, breathe in. And as you're coming back, breathe out. That just kind of adds an extra element to it. You don't have to do it. Again, that's too complex. Let's do a couple more, and then you're gonna hold that twist. One more breathe here. Take some nice deep breaths, especially through the chest. Nice and slowly, you can come back to neutral, and then we're gonna go to the other side. So again, I like to put my bottom hand on the outside of the thigh just to remind myself to keep my hips and my legs still. Top hand goes behind the ear. And we're gonna do twists as far as you can, hopefully. And then come on back. Are you guys feeling it loosen up the more you do?
Yep.
So rewarding when you can feel a difference.
Able to go a little farther back.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling that too. So do one or two more, and then we're gonna hold it. Take some nice big deep breaths through your chest. And slowly with control, you can come back to neutral. And then you can sit on it. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah.
Looser.
Yeah, I always like that one. Okay, so now we're gonna do some neck stretches. I don't like doing a ton of neck stretches. I like to make sure things are nice and strong and stable too. So that's why we did all that other stuff before. So now I think we can stretch without hurting ourselves. So you're just gonna sit up really nice and tall. What I like to do is take fingertips and kind of slide it either underneath your thigh or even underneath your bum cheek, just to stabilize that one arm. Make sure your posture is really good, that you're upright, kind of like you're a puppet. There's something pulling you up from the crown of the head. And then we're just going to take our arm to the other side, so away from the side that's tucked underneath. You should just get a nice stretch all the way up through the neck and even the shoulder. Anyone have any plans for the weekend?
Not really.
I don't think we do.
You have a house guest.
I have a host guest, yeah. With no plans.
Go with the flow.
Yeah. Kertita, what are you going to do on the weekend?
Oh, this weekend I'm not very busy, but next full weekday I'm busy because our occasion Diwali.
Oh, okay.
So 4 5 days we are making sweet at home and we are decorating our home and
That sounds
like
fun.
your Christmas, it's like a Christmas.
Yeah.
And we now we cannot go anywhere out, but in India we are going to our relatives and friends' home,
Mm-hmm.
and they are coming to our home, and we are putting the
Go ahead
light
and
out.
bring you guys to look down a little. You're looking down towards the floor. That's awesome. That'll be really fun. You'll get to spend some time with some family.
Yeah. But because of COVID, we have to do whatever we want to do at home only.
Yeah, and I imagine you're probably doing smaller family gatherings.
Yeah, small thing.
Yeah. So by turning and looking down, that should still give you a stretch through the side, but maybe a little bit more in the back. And then slowly, you're just going to rotate so you're looking up towards the ceiling. That one's a little tougher. So if you feel like I am, like I can't really look at the ceiling, not very much movement there, that's okay, it's just tight. Again, this should still be on the side of the neck, but now a little bit more in the front, kind of on top of the collarbone almost. And try to relax into it. You can rotate back and then come slowly up out of that. How did that feel for you guys?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Good. Okay, so now we're gonna do the other side. So the other fingertips come underneath the thigh or the bum cheek. Check in with your posture. Remind yourself to be a puppet, be a ballerina, whatever you want to be today. And then go ear to shoulder away from that side.
Oh, I'm doing something wrong. So my hand, this hand is there.
Yeah,
So if my hand is here, I should
Yeah.
go on this way or that way?
the first way that you went towards your left. Yeah, like that. So you're going away from the shoulder that's tucked underneath you.
Hmm.
And just sort of notice, is this side tighter than the other side or not as tight? Very few of us are perfectly balanced. So this muscle that we're stretching is pretty small, but it's right at the bottom of the neck, and all the nerves that control the arm go right through this muscle. So you can imagine if this is tight, it's just gonna pinch on that nerve. So it can cause, neck pain, but also it can cause pain in the arm, numbness, tingling in the arm, that sort of thing. Sometimes you wonder why the body was designed that way. Why would a nerve go right through a muscle?
Hmm.
That's a little silly. Okay, go ahead and now look down towards the floor a little bit. Again, you should still be getting a stretch in the side of the neck, but now maybe a little more in the back. And then nice and slow and controlled, look up towards the ceiling a little bit. And again, this will change the stretch, so it's a little bit more in the front, kind of on top of the collarbone. If when you were rotating, you were feeling some pop, crack, crunch sensations, that's sort of normal. As long as it's not crazy painful, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then you can slowly rotate back so you're looking straight and then bring your head back up out of that. You guys feeling good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was pretty tight on me. I needed that.
Yeah.
All right. Time flies when you're having fun, hey?
Yep.
That's our time. Any requests for next class? We'll see how you feel in a week. Might be something different. If you think of anything, then post it in the Facebook group. Just say, hey, I'd really like to work on this next week, and I'd be happy to plan something for you.
So Lindsay, is there any only me and your mom is there in this class, or somebody else too?
No, there's actually a whole bunch more.
A whole bunch more, or there's
We have 15 people in total that are a part of our group.
Mhm.
But a lot of them aren't able to make the live classes, or they don't want to make the live class, and they just watch the recordings afterwards.
Oh, okay, no problem. Because
yeah.
on last Saturday it happened. I have another class between it was 9 to 10, but up to 10:30 it was running on, so I couldn't do your class. But anyway, I will try to adjust.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so we're on for next Saturday at 10.
10, yeah, okay.
I'm getting myself confused.
Remember the time change.
Yeah. Okay, guys, well, have a great day. I'll see you next weekend.
Okay, thank you.